Welcome once again. I can continue by looking at the law number 3, which we are referring to as the index of an index. Now here we have two powers. There is a power inside the brackets and the power outside the brackets, or the index inside the bracket and the index outside the brackets. So when we look at an expression like this one, where we have 2 cubed in brackets squared, we can see that for 2 cubed in brackets squared is the same as 2 cubed multiplied by 2 cubed, because we are saying there is a power 2 there, so 2 cubed should multiply itself 2 times. Now simply this one means 2 cubed is just 2 times 2 times 2, then there is the multiplication there, multiply by another 2 cubed will simply mean 2 times 2 times 2. Then from there we can have 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. If we are to simplify this one, we write or leave the answer in index notation form to just be 2 power 6, because the 2's there are 6 of them. But instead of us looking at it from that angle or simplifying it in that way, we can also just simplify it, simplify 2 cubed squared by simply saying 2 cubed squared is the same as, so we have 2 cubed squared is the same as 2, where we are multiplying the powers, we say 3 times 2, so there is a power 3 there and a 2. I multiply them and this one will give us 2 power 6. So instead of us multiplying like that, we can just say this is 2 power 6 by multiplying 3 times 2. So we can have a general form. We can conclude by saying generally when we have a real number a, for any real number a and two integers m and n, if you have a to the power m in brackets and n outside the brackets, this simply means so is equal to a m n. Here mn is implying multiplication, so there is multiplication there, the multiplication of the two indices, the two powers that we have, m and n, we are multiplying them. So here it's just m multiplied by n. Okay, so that's the law number 3 that we are discussing today. We can proceed by looking at examples. Example 1, it's saying simplify. We have 2 in brackets to the power negative 3. Outside the brackets there is a power 2 again, so we have for a, we are simplifying, we'll leave it in index notation form. We'll have 2 to the power negative 3 bracket squared. This is the same as 2, the powers will multiply negative 3 negative 3 times 2. Then we can proceed and say this is 2, negative 3 times 2 will give us negative 6, and we don't leave an index as a negative, so we're going to write it as positive index, and it will give us, can introduce a 1 there, introduce a 1, we are going to have, let me write this one nicely. Okay, we are saying this is equal to 1 over 2 to the power 6. Remember, when you introduce a 1, it becomes the power or the index becomes a positive. You can go to B. For B, we are saying it's 4 to the power negative 1, outside the brackets negative 2, so this one will give us 4. The powers are multiplying, we have negative 1 multiplied by negative 2, and this will be the same as 4 to the power negative times negative is positive, 1 times 2 is just a 2, and for this one we'll say it's just 4 to the power 2 or 4 squared. Then we can proceed by going to example 2. Example 2 is saying evaluate. So here we are finding the actual values. The value of A, which is 2 to the power negative 1 multiplied by a 3 there, the power negative, the power 3. So this one will just be 2. Outside the brackets there is a 3, so we are saying 2 to the power negative 1 multiplied by 3. This one will give us, okay, it will give us, oh, that's black. This one will be equal to 2. The power is negative 3, because negative 1 times 3 will give us negative 3. From there we can proceed. We know that 2 to the power negative 3 is the same as 1 over 2 to the power 3, and this will give us 1 over 2 to the power 3. 2 to the power 3 simply means, okay, can you extend the line, 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, so this one will give us 1 over 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So it will give us 1 over 8. You can go to example B, saying 3 to the power 2 or 3 squared, outside the bracket squared. B, we have 3 squared, and there is another 2 outside there, so this will be equal to 3 2 to the power 2 or 3 squared multiplied by 2. Okay, I can proceed by saying this is 3. 2 times 2 will just give us a 4, and 3 to the power 4 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, this will give us 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3, 27. 27 times 3, that's 81. So the correct answer here is just 81. Thank you very much.